Over the years, there have been many games, characters, and franchises we've all wished would return, and certainly many I'd hoped that would be ready to announce at an event like this one day. Tonight, I'm excited to share this piece of news with all of you.
Wait a minute. Those dates. I recognize this. That music. It's so familiar. DLN? That's the serial number of... Megaman! Did you think this slipped past me? Oh, no. I'm very much aware that the Blue Bomber is coming back. Our boy Megaman has returned at long last. It has been a long while since 2018's Mega Man 11. Yeah, 2018. Why did this take 8 years? On the plus side, Capcom has been keeping the legacy of this franchise alive with tons of compilations. From Classic to the X Series to Zero, ZX, Battle Network, and Star Force, everything is now featured on modern systems. You don't need some Let's Player with a terrible microphone to tell you that X6 sucks. Now, you can just play it for yourself. Hell, that's probably why you're watching this video. Because back in 2008, I was the guy who got a lot of people into Mega Man. And no matter how much time has passed, regardless if I'm talking about the Xbox 360 or bad endings or insane fighting game lore, I still see the same comments every single time. Whoa, I remember this guy. He made the best Mega Man Let's Plays. Oh wow, the great Clement is still making videos? Oh my god, man, you made my childhood! And while I'm certainly fond of my humble beginnings, you guys keep talking like it's my best work. The videos that are 360p with 30 frames and bad audio, where I got facts wrong and made people cringe with bad jokes. Oh, okay, I still probably do that last thing, but still! I love Mega Man. It is my absolute favorite video game franchise ever of all time. And this video? It is no coincidence that I'm uploading it today, because Mega Man just joined the roster of Sonic Racing Crossworlds. Everybody's racing in Dr. Wily's castle right now, and some of them have no idea what this franchise is all about. After all, my Let's Plays began over 18 years ago. The world is a very different place, and I am a much older, much more accomplished video producer. And since we have an entire year to wait for Dual Override, I figured now is the time. The time to return to my roots. It's time to give this series the proper retrospective it always deserved. I, the Great Clement, am once again covering Mega Man. This will be a comprehensive look back at the classic series, and I'm going to be releasing a new video every single month. I know I've made that promise before, but trust me, I feel extra motivated this time around. And hey, at least I'm not talking about 60-hour RPGs, right? You excited? Did that light a fire inside? Well, good, because today we're covering the very beginning. We're starting with the original entry from 1987. Let's talk about Mega Man. But of course, we can't get into the nitty-gritty without first talking about the company responsible. That being, of course, Capcom. You all know this company. They're the ones who are still making all of your favorite games, from Resident Evil to Monster Hunter to Devil May Cry and even Street Fighter.
I know she'll grow up to be strong, just like her daddy.
Alex, what are you doing? That's your cousin, Alex! Alex, no! Alex! I mean, the library of franchises underneath Capcom's umbrella, no, not that one, is vast and super popular. They're the titans of the industry for a reason. But back in 1987, that certainly wasn't the case. Capcom entered the video game scene in 1984 and had a very specific focus, that being top-down shooters. Whether it was Vulgus, or 1942, or Legendary Wings, or Gunsmoke, they certainly filled a niche and did okay for themselves. Really, their biggest claims to fame before this point was a shooter called Commando and a very spooky action platformer called Ghosts and Goblins. But as they're making arcade games, Nintendo comes out of nowhere with Super Mario Bros. And the NES. They made video games cool again, and Capcom wanted a piece of the pie. And while ports of Ghosts and Goblins in 1942 were certainly to be expected, they also wanted to make fresh new experiences that the arcade never had. And this brings us to the birth of Mega Man.
It was originally going to be Mighty Kid, or Knuckle Kid, and this is how we were doing the package. So we decided on Rockman. And in the end, it did become the States' Mega Man.
Mega Man, the game, the character, the franchise, was created by the game's director, Akira Kitamura. Some people usually get it confused and assume that Mega Man's true creator was series producer Keiji Inafune. In reality, he was the artist. He designed the look of the characters, he made the concept art and illustrations working off of the sprites that Kitamura created. And when Akira left the company during Mega Man 3, Keiji became the de facto planner and producer for the rest of the series. And whatever you have to say about the man, and I'm sure I'll say plenty, his illustrations are just so wonderful. I love the look of classic Mega Man, where he was a short, stocky kid with a big, dopey smile. Anytime he draws a big group shot of all the robots gathered together, anytime he gives Dr. Wily that big shit-eating grin, it's just perfection. This artwork defines the spirit of Mega Man. But you know, I'm getting ahead of myself. I guess I should begin with the story and characters. The Mega Man franchise takes place in the far, far future of 2000X. At least, it did initially. At some point, someone got the bright idea to add another X to the date, cause you know, the likelihood of robots doing our bidding probably wasn't 2 decades away. So, it's 20XX, which means we still have 75 more years to make this story a reality. As long as it's better than the crappy AI we have now. Ugh. Anyway, in this future, we have 2 scientists who work in robotics, Dr. Thomas Light and Dr. Albert Wily. The former is a gentle, kind-hearted soul who wishes to make a peaceful world where humans and robots coexist. The latter is an egotistical glory hog who wants to be recognized for his genius. He also has ambitions for world domination. But you know, who doesn't? The 2 scientists were colleagues and rivals who designed many advanced robots that serve the public, from construction work to science experiments to just simple house chores. In fact, Dr. Light created 2 housekeeping robots that serve as his assistants. Humanoid children named Rock and Roll. Yes, he literally called them that. What did you expect? He's an old nerd. The point is, Dr. Light created these 2 children siblings who are not flesh and blood. They're artificial robots with gears and circuitry. Everything's going hunky-dory until robots all over the world start going haywire, attacking innocent people and causing mass chaos. And this is happening because of the nefarious Dr. Wily, who has decided to build a robot army and conquer the world. He even steals 6 of Dr. Light's robots, reprogramming them to serve as his robot masters. Everything seems absolutely hopeless until Rock decides to do something about it. The young housekeeper volunteers to defeat Dr. Wily, prompting Dr. Light to upgrade the boy, to transform him into the super fighting robot, Mega Man.
Super fighting robot, Mega Man. Super fighting robot, Mega Man.
Now equipped in blue armor and rocking a powerful Mega Buster, it's up to Mega Man to defeat the 6 robot masters, absorb their special powers, and use them to defeat Dr. Wily. And that's the setup for the very first Mega Man game. It's interesting looking back on the original product, though. When you look at the synopsis of the English version, it says that apparently Dr. Wily has assigned sovereignties and territories to his robot masters, which all make up for the empire of Monsteropolis. Which is quite the name, I must say. Can you penetrate the 7 separate societies of Dr. Wily and preserve the human race? Oh, don't worry, I'm a master at penetration. Plus, in the English version, they hadn't yet updated Mega Man's creator's name. See, they call him Dr. Wright, which is actually how he's referred to in the Japanese version. If you play Rockman 9, you won't see a whole bunch of Dr. L symbols, you'd instead see Dr. R symbols. It's just always interesting to see what Capcom keeps and what they change, you know? I mean, the Japanese box art of this game is that glorious illustration from Keiji Inafune. I love seeing colorful Mega Man surrounded by the Robot Masters. It paints a perfect picture of what we're going to experience, as opposed to the North American box art. Sweet Jesus, what the hell am I looking at? Mega Man has aged considerably. For some reason, his outfit is yellow. His shoulders are the size of basketballs. He's surrounded by pinball bumpers, I think? And instead of having a blue arm cannon, he's got a tiny little pistol. Also, the dude is posing like either he needs to take a shit or that he's hulking out for a wrestling match. What you gonna do, brother, when Mega Mania goes wild on you? This is a legendarily bad box art.
The box art for the first Mega Man game in the US was done very quickly. The president of Capcom US said to his marketing guy, you know, we need a cover done tomorrow. And he went out and got a friend of his to do it in like 6 hours. And that's the reason why it turned out so bad.
It's certainly something that the game's box art was so infamous that Keiji Inafune became oddly obsessed with it. Not only did he try to make him an actual character in the canceled Mega Man universe, he was the one who pitched the idea of putting him into Street Fighter Cross Tekken of all things. I mean, I'm not really bothered by that. I just find it really fascinating above everything else. But as much as we talk about the American box art, we never talk about the European one. And while yes, it's also trying to be super realistic, at least the characters resemble the product. It's not one-to-one, but honestly, I think this looks pretty cool, actually. But let's finally get into it. What kind of game is Mega Man? Mega Man is a 2D platformer where you run, you jump, and you shoot things. Using his arm cannon, the Mega Buster, our blue hero fires solar energy to destroy his enemies. What that means is firing off yellow lemons, of which only 3 can be on screen at the same time. It's not rapid fire like a machine gun, and without a turbo controller, you're going to be mashing the shoot button a lot. He's a jump and shoot man, run and gun. And you have to make your way to the end of the stage while dealing with a variety of quirky enemies. Some of them are little helicopter drones that try to fly into you. Some are construction guys who love to throw pickaxes. Some are giant spring titans that take off a third of your health if they bump into you. But these are all the small fry. The ultimate goal of every stage is to battle the Robot Master. And in the first game, there are 6 big bad bosses to take out. Cutman, Bombman, Fireman, Iceman, Elecman, and Gutsman. What the hell was that? The boss fights are such a significant part of the Mega Man franchise. You're always going up against something at the end of a stage, and these guys are no pushovers. They have big health bars and vicious weapons, and if you're expecting them to go down as easily as Bowser or Wispy Woods, well, guess again. One of the things that prevented my friends and family from getting into this series was the difficulty. It's bad enough trying to take down brutal enemies with erratic patterns, but then Mega Man has to deal with the deadly terrain. In Gutsman's stage is a moving platform, and you need to ride it to get over a gigantic bottomless pit. The problem is, as you jump down to a lower rail, you notice that it's a little uneven. And sure enough, it folds out and you die. What seems like a very simple platforming challenge becomes an exercise in frustration, as the timing is very demanding. Oh god, this is a big gap. I just need to be patient and time this just right. Damn it! In Iceman's stage, not only are you slipping and sliding because of the terrain, but then these jumping puzzles pop up. All of a sudden, you gotta learn the rhythm and timing of these reappearing, disappearing Yoku blocks. And every time you fall down, you're likely to get hit by the floor trap that accelerates toward you whenever you're nearby. Mega Man can't shoot above or below himself, and even if he could, the Mega Buster cannot destroy the device. Well, great! You get to Cutman stage, and that place acts like a bullet hell, with ground turrets constantly firing pellet shots in multiple directions. There's even a tiny little drone guy who can only be killed at a very specific moment who fires in all directions. And you better be careful, because Mega Man has a little knockback when he takes damage. And the thing about Mega Man, he has a very distinct weakness to spikes. If you touch a sharp pointy object in any capacity, whether they brush your helmet or rub your foot, you're going bye-bye. And while the game does have checkpoints, if you lose all your lives, you get kicked back to the start of the level. But I almost had a Luckman! I was so close! No! And that right there is what turned my friends off. Mega Man is harder than your average platformer. It's cute and colorful and appealing to children, but it takes no prisoners. Even the most popular game in the series, Mega Man 2, has caused many a feeling of defeat. And believe me, I am not shaming anybody who decides that Mega Man is too much for them. There are always different strokes for different folks. But as brutal as the game was, I kept at it. I kept playing and playing until I got a grasp on what Mega Man was throwing at me. One of the best design choices of the game is that you can play any of the Robot Master stages in whatever order that you want. All of the levels have a certain level of difficulty because any one of them could potentially be your first. The Gutsman platforms are a brutal challenge to kick off the game with, but Cutman's stage is much more relaxed. I can destroy these turrets in one shot. If I just stay out of the way, these patrol monitors can't hurt me. And then when I actually get to the boss, holy hell, Cutman takes way more damage than friggin' Iceman did. And then you actually do it. Your first Robot Master beaten, which makes you aware of this game's unique gimmick. Every time Mega Man defeats one of the bosses, he gets their special power. Cutman was trying to kill me with a scissor boomerang, and now I get to use it for myself. And just experimenting with the weapon, you see that it hits harder than regular buster shots, to the point that it can even destroy those motion sensor floor traps that were giving me so much shit earlier. Ah, so they're not invincible after all! You know, I was so close to beating a Luckman, but that thunder beam of his can kill me in 3 hits. Maybe the rolling cutter will help. Holy moly, that was so much easier! The rolling cutter kills a Luckman in 3 hits, just like his ability did to you. But now the Thunder Beam is mine to fire, offering more versatility as it shoots not only straight ahead, but above and below as well. What was a scary climb through a turret-filled section is made trivial with the power I've just acquired. This is awesome! Let's see what these weapons do to Gutsman. The rolling cutter only did 1 line, the same as the Mega Buster, and the Thunder Beam as well. So these 2 weapons didn't really help me at all. Mega Man is always designed with this rock, paper, scissors mentality. Well, of course the rolling cutter didn't do anything to Gutsman. He throws rocks. Rock breaks scissors. Duh. Every single power that you collect is usually designed to decimate one particular Robot Master. And the first time you play the game, you're experimenting to see what's effective on what. I just got Firestorm from Fireman. Fire melts ice, so obviously I know to kill Iceman. You stupid bastard. You idiot, you fool, you imbecile. What the hell is wrong with you? In what universe does fire beat ice? Ugh. Fuck Ice. Man. Like, okay, that one tripped me up. But I do think there is an internal logic to the first game's weakness chain. If fire doesn't melt ice, then it likely lights the fuse that blows up Bomb Man. What destroys boulders and rocks? Bombs. Rock breaks scissors. Scissors can be used to cut electrical wires. Thunder must do something to ice, I just don't know what. And you could argue, well, wouldn't the scissors cut the fuse from the bomb and deactivate it? Dude, this is about as rational as it gets. In future games, I couldn't tell you why concrete defeats black holes or why sound waves defeat race cars. You just have to roll with it, alright? Regardless, I just love the fact that Mega Man gets lots of weapons to play around with, and they all have a unique form of utility. Iceman's Ice Slasher can't actually damage regular enemies, but it is used to freeze them in place. So if a jumpy Spring Titan is coming your way, if you freeze them when he's in the sky, you can walk under him and go about your day.
That thing does not obey the laws of physics at all.
Look, kid, there's a lot going on here that you don't understand.
Firestorm isn't just shooting a fireball at people, it's creating a small ring of fire around Mega Man. So if something jumps at you and you didn't exactly connect with the shot, maybe the flaming wheel around you can finish the job. But you know, not every power is created equal. The Hyper Bomb is an explosive that you throw with an angled shot. It bounces, it stops, you wait a second or two, and it blows up. Sounds fun, but unfortunately it doesn't have contact damage. It's useless against airborne enemies, you can only throw one bomb at a time, and it doesn't even break through armor. You got these hard hat enemies, right? A pair of eyes that's completely invulnerable when it hides underneath its helmet. Sometimes they're called Metals, sometimes they're called Metors, sometimes Metools. For simplicity's sake, I'll just call them Mets. And when they're hiding, the bombs do nothing. Nothing at all. There's a green shielded guy named Sniper Joe. He puts up a shield and nothing can get through. Well, surely the giant explosive radius of the Hyper Bomb can get him. Really? Oh, I know! There's an object in Elecman stage. It's barricaded away from you with 3 blocks. I've played The Legend of Zelda. I know how this goes. Useless weapon. No, what they want you to do is use Gutsman's Super Arm, which allows you to pick up blocks and chuck them at enemies. But that's all it can do. You can't pick up bad guys, so you're basically unarmed if there's nothing to grab. But you know what else destroys all of the blocks? Thunder Beam. Yeah, apparently this electricity is not only strong enough to do that, but it can also kill most enemies in one hit. All of these powers use ammo. Like, you don't get to fire them infinitely, you will eventually run out, and you will have to switch out to something else. The Thunder Beam uses so little energy, you get 28 shots. And that's not even putting into consideration that enemies drop items when you destroy them. Sometimes they'll drop these little pink and blue orbs that are points. Like, for the high score. This is the only Mega Man game that has a score system for some reason. A carryover from Capcom's arcade mentality. Other times you kill enemies and they'll drop light bulbs. These light bulbs can refill your health and actually keep you in the stage. Hell, sometimes they'll drop 1-ups, free men that give you another shot at the stage. But the other thing they drop is weapon energy. When you have a certain weapon equipped and then you run into this object, you will refill and supply it with ammo. So, because the Thunder Beam is just obliterating everything in one hit, you're picking up more ammo through the bodies of robots that you're just mowing through. It's very OP. It's the best weapon in the game. You'd be wise to kill the easiest boss just so you can get through the hardest boss. Oh my god. You always have a chance to refill your health. You always have a chance to refill your weapons because Mega Man is not as punishing or as brutal as some people make it out to be. Let's talk about that item you picked up in Elecman stage. That item is known as the Magnet Beam. It is a 7th power that doesn't belong to a robot master, where you can create a platform in the sky, walk on it, create another platform, and you can essentially get over a whole bunch of bottomless pits that way. Maybe you don't like memorizing the rhythm of the Yoku blocks and you think that's really obnoxious. Well, if you pick up Magnet Beam before going to Iceman stage, you can completely skip past it and not do it. Even later in that stage, they have a whole bunch of helicopter enemies, which I admit are not well-designed enemies because they don't follow a set pattern. They seem to have a mind of their own and they always go wherever they want. They just hover back and forth, back and forth. I try jumping, I try moving left and right, being on the closer edge of it, and it's just like, oh my god, these friggin' things are so annoying. However, you use the Magnet Beam, you can just skip right past them and never have to deal with them. This is what I love about Mega Man. This is a game that, yes, initially feels really, really hard, but these powers and these upgrades that Mega Man collects along the way do open up a whole bunch of doors for him. He has so much versatility, so many different solutions on how to handle different enemies, different stages. I don't think anything they throw at you is completely bullshit to the point of frustration. You know that orb is going to shoot pellets before you finish climbing the ladder. You knew the rail platform was going to fold out because the first rail doesn't do that, and the only way you would jump to the second rail is by seeing it fold out the first time. You saw that coming. The levels are just short enough. They're not super overbearing. I think the difficulty is just right. This is such a comfortable game to replay, and boy, have I done so every single year of my life. I'm not even talking about the presentation. This is a beautiful looking game for the Nintendo Entertainment System. I love the backgrounds, like in Bomb Man stage, where there's all these giant orange orbs in the sky. I like all of the rocky mines and canyons. The frozen tropical ice world where you can see all the palm trees have frozen over. These are beautiful backgrounds. And Mega Man Sprite itself. You know, the fact that they understood the NES had so many shades of blue to work with, that would be a good look for the character. I like that his colors change when you switch out the weapons. He turns green when you have the Hyper Bomb. He turns red when you have Firestorm. And amazingly, none of the background elements, none of the sprites of the enemies get affected by these color changes. The only thing that switches color are the weapon energy blocks. That's about it. Like, this is really impressive. Compare this to 1986's Ghosts and Goblins, another Capcom game, a port of their arcade title that they're really proud of. It looks fine, you know, it looks alright. But then a year later, and this is what Mega Man looks like? Holy shit. The sprites, the robot masters, enemies like Sniper Joe and everything. It is a gorgeous freaking game, and it sounds even better. The original Mega Man soundtrack was composed by female composer Minami Matsume, and I just love how every single robot master has their own distinct theme song, and they're really catchy, memorable melodies too. Like, I'm never gonna get Cutman's theme out of my head. You're never gonna hear the same jingle over and over again like you might in a Super Mario Brothers or something. This is an exceptional soundtrack, and it only gets better from here. Anyway, once you have defeated the 6 robot masters and acquired all of their powers, you get the 7th and final area, which is Dr. Wily's castle. And Wily gets a very special intro when you select his icon. Oh man, I love that sound. It just sounds so great. I never get looks from my family whenever I get to this part of the game. It's great. Wily's Castle is a little bit harder than the regular Robot Master stages because it's incorporating all of the elements that you've seen up to this point. You know, it's adding more fire bars, it's adding more spring titans, it's adding more spikes. Oh, those spikes. I should mention that the castle does have one obstacle that gets in the way, and that's if you didn't know the magnet beam existed, if you played through a Leckman stage, didn't think anything of it, and then forgot about it, well then eventually you climb up this ladder and you find a gigantic wall that you can't climb over, and then you're just kind of stuck. You're screwed. There's nothing you can do, and you have to kill yourself in order to get back to the stage select option so that you can go back to a Leckman and get the magnet beam. So this game doesn't have a save system or passwords. So yes, if you have accumulated like 7 or 8 free men somehow, like if you've been racking up the 1-ups, you're going to lose all of them in order to go back to a Leckman stage. You're just going to have to keep throwing yourself into spikes so that you can go back to the stage select. It's kind of awkward. But you know, at least if you do run out of magnet beam energy, you can keep climbing back down the ladder to recollect that energy. Plus, when you die to the boss of this stage, you don't go all the way back to the magnet beam hallway, you start at the entrance of the boss room. I only bring this up now because maybe a certain sequel doesn't really do that. But in Wily 1, we do see a very iconic boss, probably the most infamous and most challenging boss in all of Mega Man, and that is the Yellow Devil. A gelatinous robot that's made up of a whole bunch of blocks. It always goes from one side of the screen to the other in a very specific pattern. And I mean it, there's only one pattern. It only does one thing every single time, but it moves really, really quickly, and you do have to memorize it. Otherwise, you're just going to keep running into those blocks, and you will die and die and die and die and die. The only time it is weak at all is when it opens its eyeball, and this is like a very split-second moment. It's weak to Thunder Beam, you only get this one chance to shoot it, and then you have to wait for all the blocks to assemble on the other side of the screen just to get a chance for a second shot. So that means you have to dodge these blocks probably 4 or 5 or 6 times before you can actually defeat the boss. Now, that brings up another interesting little quirk about Mega Man, which is the pause glitch. You can do it the normal way, which, you know, would put hair on your chest. Yes, you too, ladies. But there is a way, like so many things in this game, to cheese it and make it so much easier. Because the programmers did not consider that when you pause the game, it resets all of the hitboxes. So if the Thunder Beam hits Yellow Devil and the electricity is still on his eyeball, you pause, and then you unpause, the electricity hits the eyeball again. They didn't think of that, and so if you want a quick, easy way to destroy Yellow Devil, you just shoot one Thunder Beam on him, pause, repause, pause, repause, pause, repause, and you will destroy the boss really, really quickly. Even if you're playing the Mega Man Legacy Collection on modern platforms, there is a dedicated button for the Mega Man 1 pause feature. So yes, it's still very much possible in Legacy Collection, and it doesn't just work for the Yellow Devil, it works across the board. It works on every single boss in this game. So, you know, if you're finding it very, very challenging, that's another way to get through it. But again, I still don't think it's all that bad. I still think that, like, stages like Wily 2 are just a complete cakewalk when you're constantly relying on the Thunder Beam. I really just think the hardest part of the game is the boss rush. In Wily 2, you take on Cutman and Elecman, but then in Wily 4, you take on 4 of the previous Robot Masters all in a row. You have to take them all one by one by one by one. Now luckily, just beforehand, they give you a Capcom pinwheel, which refills all of your weapon energy. Which, you know, how considerate, Capcom, thank you, that's very kind of you. But you have to still go through it without an energy tank. And again, some of these bosses are piss easy, like Iceman, you don't even have to leave the teleporter. You can just shoot Thunder Beam 3 times, boom, he dies, that's it. Characters like Fireman and Gutsman, though they're a little bit harder to dodge, and trying to take out all 4 of these guys on 1 health bar can be a little bit obnoxious. But at least when you kill them, that's where the checkpoint comes back. Dr. Wily, the final boss of the game, has his own dedicated checkpoint, so you're not taking on him and the Robot Masters, you're just taking on him whenever you die. Thank God. He's very weak to Thunderbeam, he's very weak to Firestorm. You can obliterate this guy like it's nobody's business. I'm sorry. I don't know what I was thinking. Please forgive me. Mega Man has ended the evil domination of Dr. Wily and restored the world to peace. However, the never-ending battle continues until all destructive forces are defeated. Fight, Mega Man, for everlasting peace! I still quote that all the damn time. For everlasting peace! You know, I always hear people say that the first Mega Man game is a rough start, that it has growing pains, that it's not quite as good as its sequels, that maybe you're better off skipping it entirely for Mega Man 2. And boy, I just do not agree with that at all. This is such an important game that has held up incredibly well. The graphics are incredible, the music is catchy and memorable, the gameplay is challenging but never unfair. Everything about its design, from the freedom to choosing what stage you want to play, to collecting new powers, to figuring out the boss fights. If I didn't think this game wasn't fun, I wouldn't have replayed it as much as I have. Even without a password or save system, the game has such breakneck pacing that it doesn't overstay its welcome. A truly talented player can easily clear this game in about 45 minutes or so. It's incredible, and a few quirks like, oh, when you're invulnerable, you still die to spikes. Okay, so what? Sometimes you can't look at the forest for the trees. You gotta remember the time period it came from and what its contemporaries were like. In 1987, this was the best video game Capcom had ever released. Mega Man was an amazing accomplishment that had only begun to reach its potential. Hey, thanks everyone for enjoying this video. This is only the start of many Mega Man videos coming out this year. And don't worry, I am still working on other things. I do have a Pac-Man video that I want to be releasing in the next week or two. I recorded that ages ago, but you know, I just hadn't gotten around to making it. Don't you worry, we are going to have non-Mega Man stuff as well, but it's good to be back. I still love this series, and we're going to have a lot of fun with Mega Man 2. Till then.